I should have restarted. Hi, this is Erin. I'm with Assets and Arbitrage. Um, we are well into the 160s, aren't we? Yep, episode 165. I think I
hmm
probably should start announcing the episodes moving forward. But while we wait for the cousins to come,
be stacking your ounces, your satoshis, and anything else you may be having. And always look for opportunities if you have some cash on the deck, on side. Cash on deck, right? If you see some dips, which we seen today, and we're going to talk about some dips that we saw today and why we actually saw the dips. So you want to see the dips, and you want to know why there is a dip in the price action. Right. So we will talk about a few things that that helped in pushing prices down on the end of this at the end of this week. But hopefully everybody had a very productive week. Got things done. So you go into the weekend with some positivity. Maybe you could get regassed up, right,
uh huh.
and get ready for the next week. But yes, we hope that everybody had a very productive week, and hope that you had a very, loving week with your family and whatnot. So, you know, that's what we are. Just,
Father's Day is coming up.
oh man, in a couple weeks.
Yes, so y'all should be getting ready to celebrate that.
hmm
Is this the article that
It's the article, but
is it Coin Telegraph?
you don't need to see it. I was going to just reference it.
Oh, I thought you wanted to see the chart. This is not a real chart. That's just a picture.
No, the chart's on another one we pull up. But yeah, I got charts today.
But the
But
cousins, they like to see, like when we're doing the articles, they like to look at it too.
okay, you look at it. I'm just going to breeze over it because it's an article that's old. It was time sensitive, and then now that it already happened, that's why I said I was just gonna breeze over it.
Okay. Then I
Yeah,
won't worry
yeah,
about it too
yeah. Don't
much
worry
then.
about this one.
Okay.
About this one. So, like we say, we like to wait for people to pile in the room. Other than that, we can go on our normal news updates. Do we have any normal news updates, Ann?
We don't.
We don't. We do not.
It's the dog days of summer. They have begun.
Okay.
Um,
Once again, we will reiterate this because summer is starting. People are starting to travel, starting to take their vacations. Travel with intention, if at all possible. I know some of your travel is already, it's already been planned and
in
what.
swing, yeah.
Yeah. So but if you could find a little time to, oh shoot, drop my phone, y'all.
Fumble.
Humble on the 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find a little piece in your vacation time to just get some little attention, talk to some locals. See, that's always a big thing, is talking to locals. Just checking out the game and what's going on around there. See where it just depends. You step outside of your you can step outside of your sandals, accommodations, and just see what's going on. Now, don't stray too far, but just see what's going on, and see
What's
how
the
the local
name
people are.
of that island that Tariq Nasheed be talking about?
Uh,
Where they?
Easter Island.
No, it's not Easter Island.
Oh, then I don't know then.
The one where the missionary guy got killed.
Oh, Sentinel Island.
Okay, y'all don't talk to the locals on Sentinel Island, though.
Nah, you won't even get a chance. You already know how that go. For those who know about Sentinel Island.
Don't talk to them, okay? Y'all steer clear, or else you're not gonna be dinner, but you'll be something's dinner.
Yeah, so Sentinel Island. Don't vacation there, but
There was another article we read where they ate the white guy. He did something and they ate him. He did something. He wanted to show them something. Oh, he showed them a
yeah,
photograph.
they were deep in the Amazon, somewhere deep down in South
And they thought it was
America.
magic, so they ate him.
They killed him, and then they ate him. But yeah, so he's one of the people who likes to go out and reach out to these untouched. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, uncontacted is the
Uncontacted
term.
tribes, And he was getting some good headway with them for about a week. To talking to him and just they're feeding him and helping him. And then what he did is he showed him like a 360-degree picture or something. Like you would take an aerial picture of New York City or something. And then he showed it to them. And they didn't know what it was. They thought it was magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they thought it was magic, he just ordered to kill them.
Yeah.
And they just, they got these long arrows. So he explained these long, like 6-foot arrows.
Well, not the guy who died.
No.
The guy telling the story.
Yeah. But the tribe has these long 6-foot arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And
like spears, maybe?
Yeah, almost spears for arrows. And, made out of bamboo.
Yeah.
And then they got they're going to make that arrowhead crispy. But the bamboo is hollowed out.
Yeah.
Because bamboo can be heavy, right? If not hollowed out. Hollowed out. And then they got these huge bows. And he just and they just let him go. And it's just over. It was over for him. So, it's always risky down there trying to talk to those uncontacted tribes. These guys are the same guys who go down there and hunt anacondas. I don't know if it's thrill seeking. I can't call it, but I find it interesting to watch these documentaries. But I'm like, man, y'all crazy. We're going down there and doing that.
So while we're off topic, tell them about the spelunking.
Them guys? Oh, man, them guys they're the worst. And I had to watch documentaries on this over and over and over. These guys are like world-class divers. And so they like to attack different places to dive that a lot of people haven't conquered yet, if you will. And it's just underground. They're just really underground caves that are full of water, right? Caves, caverns, stuff like that. You go down, you swim down, and you go to a certain place. They say, oh, it's documented that so-and-so went down, 3,200 feet. So you got to go down further and further. And they got these lines and stuff. And these guys, man, top tier divers go down there and they die. And not typically, almost every time they ran out of air. They run out of air. And then they have to send another top level diver to go down there and not save them.
Recover their body.
It's just a recovery mission. And they're putting their life on the line to recover a body, basically for the family to have some closure is what it's really about.
So y'all don't do this type of vacationing this summer, okay? Y'all do stay straight.
Yeah, stay safe.
Get on a cruise ship, go to an island. Definitely, if you guys are thinking about traveling, definitely add El Salvador to your travel plans, right? Go be in a bit-centric vibe. Go explore Bitcoin Beach. Check out the technology, see if it works. Check out the ATM machines, or the Bitcoin ATMs, I should say.
Yeah.
Eat the food. The food's really good.
Really, really, really super cool volcano out there.
Yes, go check that out. Maybe look into the volcano bonds while you're down there. But if you guys are going to plan a vacation anyway, right? It's still a great country. It's tropical. And you be in a Bitcoin centric environment, so you can be, leisure while kind of sort of on business.
Yeah.
So I would definitely suggest that.
A lot of English speaking people there, so you'll be okay in that regard. So it's not even a language barrier. You just go check it out. It's a great place. Great place. Reminded me of Costa Rica a little bit.
If you'd have blindfolded me and dropped me in there, I'd have thought I was still in Mexico. But
yeah, so some of these places, they will look
whatever. Okay, y'all, let's get to it. There's 14 cousins in the room. We're 9 minutes in, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we do realize that we are on about an hour early. It's been a really, really long day. It's been a really, really long week. And we kind of want to get this information to you because we still have several things we have to do here at the house for the evening. Simon's got a few articles for you. We always want to keep you ear to the streets. What's going on, rationales as to why certain things happen, why things are, going the way they're going, and so on and so forth. so that you guys can be up to date in your investment portfolios.
All right. So let's get started with that first article.
Which one, babe?
We're gonna go with the
This one?
uh,
This one? No, this is not that one. This one?
no.
That's all I have.
That's all you got. Okay, just pull up the Bitcoin chart. USD. Oh yeah, look at that.
So you want the cousins to be able to see that?
Yeah, and then hit one more time. Hit it one more time.
What do you mean hit it?
Um, yeah, this chart's a little bit more comprehensive. Yep, if they could see that chart.
Okay.
Still, you guys, I'm not a big chart guy. I am a big chart guy, but I don't want to beat you over the head with charts. But sometimes it's important to show the charts. It'll be a line chart, basic line chart, nothing too intricate. But we want to show you what happened to Bitcoin today. So Bitcoin had a few things going, a few things working today, and we'll talk about both of those things. So number one, if you were following the chart today, the big thing that was going on today was the NPR report, which is the non-payroll report. And that talks about, how many jobs that were created in the month and, the projections and things like that, which gives you kind of an outlook of, do you have a strong labor market or a weak labor market? So the projection this May was supposed to be 185,000 new jobs created. And they exceeded it, and they got 272,000 jobs created. Right, so that points to a strong labor market, and it also points to a strong dollar. So when you have that, if you noticed in the afternoon here, and I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can, but these it's very small numbers.
You want me to pinch it and make it big?
But if you notice this sharp drop right here, right? From 71, almost 72,000, touches 72,000. Bang, sharp drop.
Hold on a second.
Sharp drop. Right off the cliff. And what you see there is that is after the payroll report came out. And it came out in a positive manner, which then made for a strong dollar, which pushed Bitcoin down for just a moment. So now what you see over here is for the rest of the day, Bitcoin's fighting back up, fighting back up. But then what happens is, the problem we were going to have today is, this is an article from yesterday, so the answer will be yes. Will Bitcoin fall below 70,000 after a 2.2 billion option expiry on Friday afternoon?
Today.
So that's what you had. You had $2.2 billion worth of options expired today. And as you can see right there, you see the hard dip right there. All the options expiring. And so Bitcoin took a little bit of a beating. We really wanted Bitcoin to close above 70,000 for the week trading to give you strong momentum into the next week. But when you have that many options expiring, the price will go down, unfortunately. So with the jobs report on top of the options expiry, you see a big downslide in Bitcoin when we were getting right back up there, touching 72,000, trying to push through. But, this is what Bitcoin do. We're looking at a very micro level, just a week. But just to let you know why the price went off the edge like that, right? Because sometimes people look like, man, it was just this, and now it's down here.
And you can see it here on the 5-day chart, because you said a week.
Yeah, 1 week. So you wanted to...
but look at it here, babe, from here to here.
Yeah, but see, one of the things is you want that close to be. They want it above 70.
Yeah, above 70.
So it got way down to 69. You see.
So when you look at the 1 month one, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look so bad, but I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the more we go macro, the worse it looks. I mean, the better it looks.
So that's not it's not a big deal, It's just giving you information about what happened today. why there's price movement in the direction it
This
was.
is year to date, though, right? So
Yeah,
think about
yeah.
where we were. Well, year to date, meaning January, y'all. So from January, just 6 months, look at the performance.
Yeah, so it's
So
nothing.
glass half full.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing. But for you people who just wonder, like, man, why is the price fluctuating like
And
that?
on June, let's go back to June 7th, Bitcoin, June 7th, 2023,
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin was $26,349. So yes, we wanted it to close at 70, but this is where we were 12 months ago,
Yeah,
26,000.
yeah.
And we're almost 5,000 up.
So that's positive. It's always positive when you zoom out. When in doubt,
But
zoom
who
out.
can make 50,000, almost $50,000 in a
Well,
6 month period?
it's 50,000, but it's not only is it 50,000, it's 42,000, but it's up 162,
Percent.
almost 163%.
Mm-hmm.
So
Glass more than half full, honey.
so you're always doing good as long as your dollar cost averaging into it. You're just riding that wave
Mm-hmm.
up. Okay, so
You,
today was just options expiring on a Friday, and that's what happens when options expire. 85% of options expire worthless. For the people out there who always want to come at us and say, "Do you want to trade binary options?"
no.
No, thank you. Okay, what we got
Let's say
in
hello to the
all
cousins
right.
before we move on. Cousin Jake is here. Let freedom ring. Hi, cousin. Thank you so much for joining us. Our longest
Yeah,
solid
it's a
supporter. We really, really appreciate you. Let freedom ring.
long term.
Cousin H is here, present and sitting in front of the class. I'm glad you guys are getting our
Because it H, yes,
notifications.
yes. I'm sorry we had to do hour early, guys.
Yeah.
But like she said, we just had a few things to do
This
this
evening.
evening
So,
on a
and we didn't want to
Friday.
end up canceling the show. So,
Yeah, so
Cryptonomics, cousin was here. He did have to go. He said he'll be back later. Cousin
okay.
H, and tell Lady H I said hello.
Yes, man. Yes, indeed.
Isn't Sentinel Island on the X-Men? I can't remember. Was it?
I don't watch those movies. It's sitting
I
on
watched them,
the
but I
X
can't
Men.
remember.
Uh, I don't know, but that's a good question.
But
That's a
that's
good
where the
question.
uncontacted people are.
Yeah, the uncontacted, deeply melanated people
Deeply
are.
melanated.
Yes.
Cousin Shango's here, but he's not in his final form yet because he's still at work.
Okay.
Even though he's here in his final form, but he's
Mm.
still at work. Cryptonomics is back. Hey, cousin.
All right.
Nerd Up Inc. is here. Thank you so much. And Let Freedom Ring said, love the hour early on a Friday.
Oh,
We
love
need
it.
it. We need
Okay.
it. We still have a few hours to go.
Yeah,
We've
right.
been up
Wow.
since 3:30 and
Yeah. We get up
I'm
early,
starting to
on
feel
the
it.
on the what do you call it? Productivity tip. We try to get up between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning.
Mostly
Which
3:30, y'all.
sounds fun, right? A lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it today.
But so yeah, another chart I wanted to go over for the family, just so that we can. This is precious metals now.
Okay.
So this one right here.
You say that, but they have no idea what that means.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just always need to check on to make sure they can see what we see. I don't know why it does that instead of just, there we go. All right, babe.
All right, gold, silver, platinum forecast. Gold dives 2.8% as the dollar rallies. So let's stop right there. Um, like I always tell you, just always remember this. Gold, silver are inverse correlation to the dollar. You see the dollar rallies, right? The dollar strong, gold takes a 2.8% dive. Now, for people, I know a lot of people are into crypto and stuff like that, and they're big swings, but traditionally, gold, a 2.8% dive is a big deal because
Okay.
gold doesn't move like that.
Mm-hmm.
So on a Friday, they got the job reports, which
Mm-hmm.
looks like for a strong labor market,
Mm-hmm.
the dollar rallies, gold has to go down.
Mm-hmm.
As does silver. Silver will go down even more. And we'll get into that. Did you have a question? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, like, when you talk about I'm going to talk about the manipulation of the freaking economy, right? So they put out that jobs report, but what they don't do is they don't put it out in correlation with the forecasted layoffs of companies who have, when they put a freeze
Mm-hmm.
on
Hiring freeze.
hiring freezes. They're not talking about companies who are on the brink of bankruptcy and are going to completely shut down. So they put this report out, which a lot of times is highly manipulated, right? Because you're saying you have those positions available when a lot of times those companies will be like, okay, we can forecast maybe 12 positions would be available, but then they only hire 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
So that labor market report isn't accurate. It's manipulating the propping up of the dollar
Yes.
when the labor market doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah, it
When
is.
you have one job position where 270 people are applying to this one job,
Mm-hmm.
that's nuts. Especially with retail, brick and mortar retail
Mm-hmm.
is, I don't know the word for it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's collapsing to the point of extinction,
Yes.
right? So people who are used to, if you need a job, if you need to just make some extra money, you can go ahead and get a job at a retail store, work at Macy's from 5 to 9 or something like that.
Okay.
If you don't have a lot of skills, you could, young people, teenagers, you work at TJ Maxx after school and so on
Right.
and so forth. With retail essentially falling into big trouble
Mm-hmm.
and going away and stuff being sold on Amazon and so on and so forth, Shein, and all of these other places that people love to online shop,
Yeah.
the labor market doesn't look like the way they're trying to push it out. And they did that on purpose because we read that report about how while BRICS is trying to dump the dollar, the 73 central banks are hoarding it for its high yield. Now, right on the heels of that, we're getting this strong job market
Yeah.
forecast.
Well, so the strong job market. So with something you have to consider, and was inside that strong job market, is there a lot of jobs that need people who the young people don't want to do these jobs, right? We talked about a shortage of firefighters.
Oh, absolutely. I know that's,
Yeah, there's a shortage of
but now we're
airline,
running into
but a
the
shortage of
qualifications.
airline pilots, right?
Yeah, you don't have the certifications, the hours. Even for the fire department, too, it's not necessarily that young people don't want to do it. The young people today versus 10 years ago are not as healthy, right? If America is wildly more obese and
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy today than they were 10 years ago, we're talking about a job. Not to say that you couldn't find, if you could corral them, you can get them to do that job, but it's harder in 2024 for this population of young people to do a job like
That's ground,
firefighting
yeah.
than, because they tell you in the high schools and the colleges, what was it, Morehouse College,
Yep. Okay.
right? The freshman class, the obesity was such a problem that they had to mandate certain.
Yeah, certain
Now I get the freshman 15, but they're saying this is way beyond that, to a point where this is a prevalent problem
mm-hmm.
across colleges. And that's about the age of firefighters that you kind of want, that
Yeah,
20 to
25.
25-year-old.
Yeah, you want to get those. You want the younger people, right? Because that's what it is. It's just turnover. The younger people, help out the older people. Then the younger people become the older people. New younger people
And
come
you
in. It's
got to
just
get that
turnover,
feedback
turnover,
cycle.
turnover.
But that goes along with the military
Yeah.
too. The military has been issuing more waivers than they've ever had. We didn't need waivers when we joined the military.
Now you get all kind
Every
of
now
waivers.
and then somebody would come in with a shaving waiver.
And never, God forbid, you got a degree, some kind of degree. They'll give you any waiver you need to get in here and
But
make you
now
an
they're handing
officer.
waivers out just to get people in because
Yeah.
they cannot get in the way we got in.
Yeah.
30 years ago now?
Yeah. So that's what it is, man, on the farm report, the non-payroll jobs report, I should say. So, that really, so here's what it does though. We'll go down and look here. So look at this. Can we see this? Is it gonna give me one more time? Well,
I'm gonna
that ain't
make it bigger
bad.
for you though.
That's not bad.
Why is it getting smaller?
Yeah. So you see this chart here that is continuously getting smaller.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
Look how big this is.
yeah, just if you, yeah, right there. That's a good view of the chart right
Right
there.
there. You want to make it one more?
No, 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 fine. Just all right. So you see this chart now. This is a candlestick chart. We're trying to use the time right here. If we can get the time down here, we don't have a time down on the bottom. No worries. Anyway, you see this hard red candlestick down, right down to about 2310 at 342 right before close, right? So there's going to be a sell off. As they say, is a thinly traded market at the end close of business on Friday. So you see it close. If you put it back up, I didn't check, but let's double check before I say it. It didn't close at the low of the day because that would have been back here, but it closed pretty close.
Pretty close, I would
Close
think.
enough, to say that that was a weak close going into the weekend. Let's look at the next one. Same thing, silver. Now, silver is going to react even harsher because
It swings a bit
it
wider.
always does. So I think silver had
Let me make it bigger.
a -6% today. That's a huge move in silver. -6% in one day.
But look how the
And
candlestick.
And look at the candlestick. Like you had a tough green candle into this long red candle. So it did not close at the low of the day, but it closed low. It closed very negatively. It went below $30, which is fighting ground for silver. And so it's below what was hard resistance. So trying to flip 30 to support, it hasn't really done that. It's back and forth, back and forth. And so, but this is also the, I guess, the cause, not the cause, but this has happened because of the strong job reports and the dollar rallying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once the dollar strengthens, gold and silver will weaken. So there's kind of an inverse correlation. It's not 99%, 100% all the time, but it's a lot of the time. So, you have to manage your investments. If you have, you have your silver and you see that your silver's down, but your dollar is stronger. So you can do something with your dollar now that you know it is stronger. Especially for people like us who actually living abroad, we know that okay, it's good to be in dollars right now as the peso is weakening against the dollar. So yeah, and then platinum, same thing. You're gonna see the same kind of chart, a little uglier chart for platinum. Is this platinum? Yeah, this chart's a little uglier. As it, yeah, it's just had a down trend all day long, and yep, looks like it's closed pretty much below the low of the day.
So he's trying to say that
That's that.
this is we can't
Yeah,
even like do the little marker thing.
no, not on
But
this
this
chart.
was the low of the day, and this is where it closed. And I hope you guys can see my little hand,
Yeah, so
my little cursor.
that's real. That's real. That's a Friday. That's a Friday in June, man. No big deal. We weathered the storm, but still stay stacking, stacking, and stacking. Things are on sale, right? That's how
Mm-hmm.
we got to see it. Things are on
You
sale.
done with this article?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the chart's a chart. People get it, man. The long red candlesticks down. We out of here. But you can read if you want to see.
So, cousin Phantom Beat is here. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
very much.
What if silver's price gets repaid 1-to-1 with gold?
What? Boy, we were dancing in the streets. I'm talking about dancing in the streets. I just read today, it just went back to I think 78.9 to 1. So that's where we're at. Typically over time, they want it to be 15 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
15 to 1, and then but that may take time. That may take time to get 15 to 1.
It may, it will.
Yeah.
So, Cryptonomics said, I think the labor market did go up, but not because companies are growing, but looking to fill the COVID losses, and also due to the interest rates not going down. Prices going up, forcing people to find work, to find different work, to find supplemental work.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with a lot of these companies, Cryptonomics, is they put these recs out, So they'll put out like, or they'll request like 25 recs, and then when they go over to approve the budget, only like 6 of them got approved, right? So you had the forecast, but
Yeah.
then when you reviewed your budget and you went through all of the channels you need to go through, a quarter of those requisitions actually get posted. So that's really what I mean when I say the forecast is always not accurate.
Who was that?
That was Cryptonomics.
No, who was that face up there? I was just seeing the face on the post.
The thumbnail?
No, like go up a little bit more. Just the face. I was just looking at the.
I can't. The emoji. He just saluted. It's a salute
Oh, I can't see it.
emoji. Y'all, I gotta be his glasses and everything. Um, Phantom Beast said, or at least to 50% of gold's price.
Oh,
So
so you're talking about
gold is what, 2,200. So he's talking
1100?
1,100.
Yeah,
We still be dancing in the streets.
yeah. That's what one to. That's 1 to 2.
Hmm.
2 to 1, I should say. 2 to 1.
Yeah, we still be dancing
They
in the
be dancing in
streets.
the streets for real, but it's just it'd be hard. A lot of things would have to happen for it to get that close. The
Hmm.
ratio to get that close, but
What do some of the scenarios look like?
for that to happen,
Hmm.
oh wow, I don't know. I think it's stuff that. So, for example, because gold is pretty much strictly a monetary metal,
Hmm.
where
Silver
silver
has the industrial.
has a dual use, you would have to get to the point where people were hoarding silver just for monetary and not even the dual use side of it.
Hmm.
So things would begin looking pretty grave if that happened.
Almost post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, so we always want some certain things, but we have to understand what might be how it might look
The
on the other
effect, the
side. Yeah,
cost of wanting that thing
yeah, it could
to
look
come to,
ugly. I always
like
say,
$1 million Bitcoin, everybody's cheering it on, but you got to remember if Bitcoin's $1 million, that shows you how much the dollar deteriorated,
yeah, right,
right? It's
yeah.
almost gonna be like sand. That's how bad it would
Mm-hmm.
deteriorate. So cryptonomics, silver CFDs are definitely manipulated in price.
Yep.
The dollar didn't strengthen, in my opinion. Word was 67 plus banks are exposed to collapse. Yeah, remember we read that article?
Yep. Yes, we did.
Per FDIC report, only 1% of the bank's capital can be insured because of the way they do they call it fractional reserve. It's like zero reserve.
Yes, at this point it is.
Cousin H said Friday, 6 p.m. EST start time is great. We deserve the rest. That's the thing. We're not going to get to rest. We
You know
have
those.
a few other things to do after this, but we didn't want to cancel the show in order to get all that stuff done.
Yeah, and when he speaks about the banks who collapse and stuff like that, it seems like they keep getting bought out, though, right?
Right.
As soon as they
So
collapse,
was
somebody.
that last week?
Well, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks,
When I
Chase.
went on to the Chase, remember it said
Yeah,
"Welcome First Republic."
yeah. So these they'll buy this bank out. They'll buy this bank out. SI didn't Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
They got bought out.
But Chase didn't buy them. I don't think. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Chase bailed them out, but Chase bailed out First Republic because when we went on our online,
Yeah.
they had a big welcome banner for First Republic customers and stuff, and head here so that you can get onboarded into. I should have did it just to kind of
And
see, but I
that's
was worried it might mess up our ledger or something like that.
and where that gets troublesome is because say you have First Republic Bank, and maybe you have your mortgage through them,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you have your car loan through them,
Mm-hmm.
or any other type of loan. You may have a credit card through them.
Mm-hmm.
And now when they get bought out, now you got to revisit the contracts.
Well, here's the thing. That's funny you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
When my parents purchased their house, they did their mortgage with Wachovia Bank. Great bank, lots of amenities. We were really, really happy with their bank. Keep in mind, they had just come from Citibank in New York, because that was the bank we had in New York, Citibank. So they just got Wachovia, and I can't remember how many years later, maybe 10? No, it was less because their mortgage was only 15 years. I'm going to say, let's say 5 to 7 years into their 15-year mortgage, Wells Fargo buys Wachovia. However, the only reason they went to Wachovia Bank is because Wachovia had what they call an indemnity agreement. Because my parents are senior citizens and they had the 15-year mortgage, one of the big butter biscuits, as Tariq Nasheed would say,
selling points
for butter biscuit. It's a big, gigantic Popeyes butter biscuit with jelly on it, not just the dry Popeyes biscuit. Is that if one of them was to pass away, the house automatically gets paid off, right? The death insured, in a sense, the mortgage of the house, and the spouse didn't have to worry about the mortgage moving forward. So now Chase takes over this loan and that indemnity agreement. They were like, we don't know nothing about that. And that's not nothing we agreed to, but I didn't have a choice. And you just took over my loan.
Yes. And this is problematic. I've had that happen with a car loan where I just get a letter in the mail
And all of a sudden
like,
Santander had our car loan and
they turned it over to Citibank. Remember that?
Santander turned it over to Citi. I remember it was one of the other.
I was like, okay.
And the interest rate went up. Like, that's not what we signed for. The interest rate is different.
And you don't have any say-so in it. So, yeah, that's one of them.
And we scrambled to pay that off because they were janky when we went to go pay the car notes and stuff. Customer service was janky. We had a lot of issues with them where with the previous lender, that was for the Cadillac, right? For the previous lender, we didn't have any problems. They treated us really good when we went to go, pay the note and stuff like that.
And this is one of those things where it's like a local bank. Santander was a local credit union.
There. Santander is a major bank.
Yeah, but it was
they local. Had the little branch.
Yeah, it was a local credit union out of Laredo, Texas. And so, once whenever they closed or bought it, then Citibank gets it, and I didn't.
Shitty. Yeah. So, when you're trying to call and do your car note, and for the first couple of car notes, you know how you have the account number on the stub, babe. Do you remember? Like they would be like, "We can't find your account. We can't find your account," and they would have to dig around, and all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, okay, here it is." So that was issues too because you're already on hold for a long time. You're like trying to pay I used to have to pay the note over the phone at that time versus wasting the whole stamp. This is how old we are. Versus wasting the stamp.
And another big problem is, and I don't know if it's a problem as much anymore.
It's before ACH.
But if you had like a local bank like that, I don't know if First Republic is local, but if you have a bank like that and then it gets absorbed and then say the bank that takes over, like, we don't have any branches in our city.
There's that. Mm-hmm.
And so then, because when we got for the car, there was no Citibank branches.
No.
So it's not like you can go to the branch, pay, because we used to just be able to go up to the bank, like you were making a bank transaction. And this is old school stuff.
That's why I said it's before ACH and stuff just coming out your paycheck. We old.
But even just taking down your local bank, because I know a lot of people will bank with
credit
unions to get things like homes and
the home loans, the mortgages, because it's easier to do. And they're friendlier and customer service is a lot more like workable. When you call a bank, you don't have to be on hold for a significant amount of time or talk to 25 people before you can get the resolution you're looking for because of its.
And if you're small enough, the people know your name when you walk in. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Ask you about your kids, your dog, your cat.
Yeah. So that's nice. That's nice neighborhood feeling that they take away right there. And that does something to the psyche. It's very small, but it does. Like you felt like connected. Now you got to go to this. Now you got to go to this big old branch where nobody knows you, right? And you don't know what you're doing. Chase got all fancy. They got this ATM machine. They got to have a woman there to just help you take money out the ATM.
To onboard you to withdraw money from the ATM. And it's all touchscreen and the UI is for a third grader. It's
Yeah, but
like
no, yeah, not to go too far down that that rabbit.
that rabbit hole.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the things that when you take over banks that people don't really talk about that.
But
Yes,
Cousin Let Freedom Ring is right
sounds
on the
like
money when says they sound like they ignore the contract. They do. We
yeah,
got our own contract policies, procedures. We're not concerned with what contract you entered into with them. And you got to remember they see it as a point of we are bailing them out in some which way, shape, or form. I think Wachovia had collapsed. So Wells Fargo bailed them in because there's no such thing as bailout, I keep being told. But yeah, Wells Fargo picked it up and they didn't get nothing. Like none of the stuff that brought them to Wachovia in the first place. You remember
yeah,
you shop for a mortgage. You shop for the mortgage. Mortgage don't come to you. You shop for it and you say, this is the lender that is going to give me the most benefits, right? Whether that's interest rates or any other kind of agreements, or like I like to call them butter biscuits. And then this other bank shows up with nothing in hand and is like, this is what you're going to do. It's what you're about to do. So there's that. You ready to head over to the next article?
yeah. Let me see which one it was.
It's really just this one because I was going to do some regulation with them.
Okay, so Bitcoin falls
Oh,
back
wait,
after.
because you just wanted to see what it was. Let me just get the min on it.
Okay.
That's not it. I feel like it's not. Bitcoin falls back. Why isn't it showing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's not showing up.
That's all right. We'll just read it.
Okay, because I don't know why this tab won't allow me to share, y'all.
Get rid of some of these that we're not using.
Okay,
Let's get rid of those.
and maybe it'll show up.
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe this is it. Yeah, okay, it did show up.
That's it.
Yeah. I just want to make sure cousins can see it. There we go.
All right. Bitcoin falls back after attempt to at 72K, but Fed US data and
Global
global
rate
rate
cuts.
cuts may bring new all-time highs. So we talked about the US data that came out and go up one more time and global rate cuts. So that's something to look into. This is to me a very it's an ugly chart on a short term.
Do you want me to make it bigger?
No, it's okay. But all right, so you can read this part. I can't read it.
So, Bitcoin spot selling on exchanges weighed on prices with a buildup of short derivative positions around the 72,000 level, one observer noted. Soft U.S. economic data, rate cuts could foreshadow a dovish, a Fed meeting next week. So, tell them what dovish is, babe.
Dovish. So,
We said dovish and look, two doves showed up.
I mean, to keep it simple, I guess is to be like a softer stance, like hence the dove, right?
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So,
Peaceful, tranquil.
yeah, and then you have your hawkish stance.
So a softer, okay, foreshadow a soft Fed meeting next week. That makes sense. Bitcoin is increasingly compressed in a narrow range as the latest effort to rally past 72,000 stalled yesterday. I would like to get rid of all of these distractions. Bitcoin rallied to $71,700 earlier during the day following the European Central Bank's rate cut, but quickly tumbled, nearly dipping below 70,000 before bouncing to 70,600 at press time, down about 1% over the past 24 hours. Well followed market analyst, Skew noted concerted spot selling activity on crypto exchanges Binance and Coinbase, and a simultaneous built up of short perpetual futures position on a derivatives marketplace weighing on prices. CoinGlass data shows a significant leverage built up around the 70,000 to 72,000 price area that could be liquidated in case of a breakout from the narrow trading range in either direction. This looks nuts.
So did you hear that though? Did you hear that?
Repeat what, babe? The liquidated?
Be liquidated in a narrow trading range in either direction.
Oh, so either which way you lose.
I'm saying it's liquidated and we're going down, or liquidated and we're going up. That but liquidation is coming.
Right. The broader crypto market also experienced a pullback with the CoinDesk 20 index down 1% over the past 24 hours. Decentralized exchange Uniswap's token, Oracle Network Chainlink, and Layer 1 blockchain near declined 3 to 5% in the same period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of the cousins hold those, but Cosmos-based blockchain, say that 3 times fast, Injective's native token defy the broader trend, gaining 5% following the project's tokenomics update that aims to make the asset more deflationary, reducing supply via token burns. Despite Bitcoin's struggle to get past the 72,000 level, analysts call for an imminent break upwards to new record highs as macro conditions are turning in favor of risk assets. You want me to keep going, or you
No, I
feel like
mean, to
it's
see what the people are saying, because that's good information you just dropped right there. Technical side, so people know what's going on.
Cousin T. Willine is here.
Yes,
Thank you so much for joining. He said shout out to the Simons in the
T.
chat.
Willine,
He's
yeah.
late, but he made it. He's happy to be here. Cousin Shango is back in his final form.
All right. All right. So that was a pretty good article just to give you an overview of what's going
It
on.
sounded like a lot
Yeah,
of tech speak, though.
it is, but it looks like it's ready to break out. And analysts say in the upward direction to break through 72
But you're
to
going to get
fight with,
liquidated either way?
yeah.
¿Por qué?
I mean, I'm just saying he's saying it's derivatives. If people are sitting on contracts
Mm-hmm.
that are levered,
Is it because of the triple witching, you think?
no, but people are levered.
Okay.
The triple witching is going to get people
It
on
should be like next week or week after, right? The third week, isn't it?
It's gonna be the 21st, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be June 21st. So we gotta talk about triple witching coming. But yeah, these people are highly levered, and so you go on these different. I don't want to say sites. What's the word I'm looking for?
What, baby?
Different places to trade. You'll get up to.
Exchanges and
I've
stuff.
seen up to 100x, maybe more than that. And
Get
so,
liquidated?
no, I'm saying you'll get like 100x.
Of leverage.
Yeah, leverage. So yeah, you'll get liquidated quickly. So that's what's going on a Friday with Bitcoin and silver.
Yeah.
Kind of
But the
boring stuff.
dollar is kind of propped up today.
So folks,
So cousin H said bank buyouts, bank bailouts, it's all just one big shell game and shakedown. Cousin
yeah.
Shango said, I've been of the opinion that we're gonna get a round or two of QA more money. The Bitcoin crypto prices will go way up and get more folks to put in, and then it looks like poop. Oh, bullshit.
Oh, there you go.
I had to look like, what was the little picture? Left Freedom Ring said agree. I think Bitcoin breakout is coming. Cousin Shango said so. Folks who freak out. I don't look like he didn't get to finish his sentiment. He didn't get to finish what he was his thought.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll see a lot more of these. We'll get into a lot more of this stuff. It's a little boring. We're coming into the end of quarter two, and quarter three will be starting on July 1st. So there's a lot of, as they call it, it's halftime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of people have to take account for what's going on for the first half,
Mm-hmm.
and then be ready for the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're seeing a lot of. Somebody said something I thought I wanted to. Some folks who bank buyouts, bank with
I just read all of that.
but you kept going, and I might have wanted to comment on it. So one big shell game. It's a shakedown. Yes, yes, I agree with that. One big shell game and being a shakedown. That's why this is imperative to be your own bank, right? At this point, because like Aaron says, we still have to use the banking transactions. Let's be transactional with the banks. Let's use them for what they're for, what they're good for, and then get them out the way, right? Like I said, I don't like to keep any money in my bank account. I keep money in a bank account that covers the bills of the household, and that's it. That's it. That's what's in there. And if something extra needs to go in there, I'll put a little something extra in there. I don't let money sit in the bank. It's transaction. It's out of here. It's out of here. It's over here. It's over here. It's over there. So we gotta stay in that mindset. And that's why I say keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking all the time, because you don't want your money just sitting over there gaining what nothing.
And they're using it and making money with it and stuff.
25 basis points.
So Cousin Shango finished what he was trying to say. So folks who gonna froth their pants when Bitcoin drops from 70K to 60K are gonna get pushed out of the market.
Yes.
We just gotta keep our diamond hands strong. Cousin H said, yes, we've been Bitcoin stagnant and sideways for the last 2 months. The true litmus test for QA and BTC spike will come in November for the elections, right?
Yeah.
Cousin Shango, do not sell if you can help it. Do not sell.
Yeah, like you said, people who've gotten in later in the game, when they see it go from 70 something to 60 something, like you said, they're going to be in panic mode. And for people like us who've been in the game for a long time,
We're just up regardless.
Yeah, 60s is a beautiful number. So, you have different people who are investing, people who've been in the game a little bit longer, and people who are just getting in. But it's never too late to get in. So, if you bought at 70, don't feel bad. You bought at the top. I bought at the top sometimes. I bought at the top when it was like 16. I bought at the top, and that thing went all the way back down to 9. You know what I'm saying? So, but looking back on it, buying at 16 at the top is crazy because everybody would love to buy at 16 now. So you just got to have them diamond hands, like you said, not paper hands, not lettuce hands, all that stuff. And just understand, like she had just read off earlier, this time last year, Bitcoin's around 26,000, right? And you like, oh man, I spent too much on it, 26,000. Right. And then you see roll over 1 year later, you're like, oh, I'm up 162%.
Yep.
So, okay. I made a good trade.
All right, cousins. Cousin H, I missed this. Last election was decided via social media. This election will be decided by digital pockets. The community has been forecasting this for the last 2 years, if not longer, cousin, that we would eventually get to an American Idol kind of way of voting for the president, right? It was like 1, 2, press 1. Yeah. I did want to share this article because this is where I want the cousins to weigh in. Any cousins who want to hop on so that you can share your actual thoughts and stuff with the cousins yourself via me reading off what you type. Please feel free. But Cousin Shango said, I was listening to mainstream news talk about Disney stock crashing. I went and looked. It fell no more than 5% at the time. I was like, y'all, quit crying wolf. The Bitcoin movement's got me immune. I know.
Yeah, that's the thing, sitting around with Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies. We forget that a 5% drop in something like Disney
it's a big deal. It's panic. It's panic at the disco, y'all.
Yeah, but us, we like, man, what's 5%, man? We'll hit 9%.
But then they also don't have 162% performance in a 12-month year. So
yeah, so that's
all right, cousin. So like I said, I'm going to share this next article with you. We do want to hear from y'all. So anybody who's like, yo, give me the link, let me hop in. Please feel free to hop in so that you can weigh in on this one. I know you guys have had to hear about it. So new law grants U.S. president power to block digital Digital asset access. A new U.S. law grants the president unprecedented authority, look at the wording, to block access to digital assets, sparking significant concerns about its broad implications and potential impacts on users.
Mm.
The new law grants the United States president sweeping powers, listen to the words, sweeping powers, to block access to digital assets, drawing significant concern from commentators on Twitter. Scott Johnson, a prominent voice in the digital assets field, criticized the law for its broad scope on June 6, stating, "It's hard to see how this isn't intended to be a user level ban power by the president on
Mm.
any protocol smart contract that's deemed by the Treasury Secretary to be controlled, operated, or made available by a foreign sanctions violator. Breathtaking scope and implications to corral users to know your customer permission chains." An ex user posted, wait a minute, is this something different?
No, that's just how the story kept going.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay.
An ex-user posted Senator Mark Warner's apparent strategic insertion of legislative elements on June 5th, enabling the scrutinized new sweeping powers, again, listen to the terms, granted to the U.S. president over digital assets.
Mm.
On Monday,
That's,
Senator Mark Warren, a Democrat from
there we
Virginia,
go.
appears to have inserted elements of his Terrorist Financing Prevention Act into a must pass, the Intelligence Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2025. Really small writing, y'all. But the new law broadly defines digital assets encompassing any digital representation of value recorded on a cryptographically secure distributed ledger. Any communication protocol, smart contract, or other software deployed through the use of distributed ledger or similar technology,
Mm-hmm.
and that provides a mechanism for users to interact and agree to the terms of a trade for digital assets. Just biding time. Under the new law, the president can block transactions between U.S. persons and foreign entities defined as supporting terrorist organizations. Y'all notice anytime they want to take away our freedom, they cloak it under some type of terrorist activity,
Yeah.
or just in case the terrorists want to kind of do this thing, we have to protect you.
Right. And
Any violation of our freedom and independence.
yeah, President Bukele, he touched on it, but he didn't go into it. Maybe he couldn't, maybe it wasn't the right time, but he was saying that what he has done with his country in this region, which is what would you call it, LATAM,
Latin
but he also Northern America, which would be Canada, United States,
and Mexico.
Mexico would be part of Central LATAM.
Okay,
But
you saying North America? Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me
yeah,
what he
yeah,
said.
he's saying that they're not his backers or supporters of
Oh
the way
no,
that he's done things.
no.
So even if they decided to say that somebody in El Salvador, you're going back and forth with El Salvador, that oh we deem him as
Yeah, yeah,
terrorist,
yeah.
right?
Because we don't like his policies. We
Right.
don't like
So
his protocols. We don't like his sweeping. Um, what do they say? His sweeping tyranny
yeah,
on the people, which is utterly ridiculous.
yeah. So you gotta be cognizant of what you could be doing. Of course, you're not sending something to someone in Iran. I hope not. But
But they
it,
might need it.
no, I'm saying like back and forth communications, large amount of money.
Oh, yeah, I'm
You
not talking about
know,
actual terrorist activities, but if you were sending some Bitcoin to a refugee family in Iran,
yeah.
that is who needs it. It's the marginalized people who
But
need the
they can
Bitcoin.
shut that down as they see it as
Yeah,
terror.
trying
Yeah.
to help somebody. Prohibit any transactions between any person subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, so that's its citizens, and a foreign digital asset transaction facilitator identified under paragraph 1. So here are the implications for digital asset users. Johnson's analysis suggests that the law's broad applicability
Mm.
could compel users to join KYC compliant and permission blockchain networks, ultimately limiting them to regulated blockchains, right? Because they're always trying to figure out ways to batten down these hatches and regulate those who want to jump out. Shout out to the jump out girls who
Jump
want to
out
jump
girls.
out of traditional finance.
There we go.
He
Jump out
warns that the
girls.
move could be seen as an effort to exert control over digital assets under the guise of combating terrorism, because that is what our United States government does.
Yeah.
Anytime they revoke some type of right that you have, some type of independence you have, some type of freedom that you enjoy, it's always under the guise of combating some sort of terrorism. The elements allegedly added
Pray
by
for that.
Warner, enabling this presidential empowerment, look at the words, are borrowed from the Terrorism Financing Prevention Act. This act was introduced in December 2023 announcement allowing the U.S. Treasury Department to go after emerging threats involving digital assets, understanding that one of their major emerging threats is the shift from the 1% pool to become wider, the shift of that wealth transfer to too many Joe Bag of Donuts, right? These are also aspects of emerging threats involving digital assets because, cousins, as we know, digital assets are deflationary, a very inflationary economy. Two, remember, they utilize, we talked about the cantillionaires, and Simon was kind of setting these shows up so that the cousins have foundational understanding on how things go, right? So the cantillionaires are able to use the money first when it's in credit form, right? You know how I tease Bitcoin Shango, right? When he's at work, he's not yet in his final form. The cantillionaires, those who sit by the money printers, get the money in its credit form. Once they're finished using it and they don't have a use for it anymore, then Joe Bag of Donuts, that's us, right? The rest of the people, we get it in its debt form, right? In its final form when it's dead, right? In its debt form. And they make money when we utilize it in debt.
Yeah.
Right? So they make money when it's in its credit form, when they use it, and they make money when we use it in its debt form.
Gotcha.
So when we talk about emerging threats, related to digital assets, it is a threat when that money that is supposed to be debt to you, you've now found a way to make it A, deflationary, and B, to sustain, if not increase, the purchasing power of it, pushing it back into some sort of credit form.
Yep.
That's what they don't want you to have that advantage that they have. So we have to look at the wording and we have to look at the steps that they're willing to take in order to, maintain their position and power and authority. Look at the words they use. His empowerment, sweeping powers, granted the authority, right? And again, it's a way, it's a way to oppress the masses, right? When you keep seeing the word authority thrown around like that, it is an actual objective to maintain oppression. Step on your neck. That's why you gotta protect your neck, kid. Where are my hip hoppers? Okay, wait. Cousins are they talking? I can't even get back to.
Because you was talking to the.
I said that we did Disney. Any movement less than 10%. Looks like us frogs are getting boiled a bit more in this lovely pot we call the USA.
I agree.
Cousin H. When I was in high school and first learned the word exaggerated, I always think of it when hearing the mainstream financial news sources crashing, rocketing, surging. You got to remember they have to sensationalize it in order to draw your attention to this 1-2 minute read. Our attention spans are like less than 30 seconds now. So the news has always sensationalized thing in order to bring your attention from something else to this. Soaring, plummeting, bursting. They're also, if you look at the words, they're words that trigger your psychological emotions, right? So they're psychological words, I should say, in order to trigger your emotions. And most of the time, in order to trigger your emotion towards fear, towards panic,
Fear, uncertainty, and
and
doubt.
doubt, right?
Yeah, that's what
Because
it is.
when you're empowered, when you're confident, when you know, right? Because he talked about uncertainty. When you know that you know that you know, you are not moved. You understand what I'm saying? And they need to be able to move you off your square any which way they can, whenever they can. And that's the whole point of the psychological manipulation of news sources. That's why they call it propaganda. And propaganda, just so y'all know, because we use it so casually nowadays, propaganda is a weapon of war.
Yeah, of course. Oh my goodness.
Right? Because we're
Yes.
talking to a lot of civilians. I know some of you guys on here are
Oh
prior
yes.
service or active duty. Thank you so much for your service, guys. But you just have to, that's why we always take you on those strolls, history class, right? We say, hey, we're about to give you the history on this so that you can really understand what's actually happening, the reality of it. Propaganda is a weapon of war,
Yes.
right? And that's what the psychological manipulation of your mind is all about. It's why they use those words, why they use those terms. And that's why whenever Simon and I read an article to you, the first thing we tell you is look at the words they're using. They're at war with us, right? And the war is not happening on a field, right? It's not a field of blood. The war is happening in here. Because this is what influences when I show you my fingers, when I show you my hands, the work is always symbolized by your hands. Whatever this tells your hands to do is what you're going to do, right? And this is one of the reasons too why when we talk about the markets, we talk about diamond hands, right? We talk about paper hands because when the mind is scared, paper hands, it loses the investment. But when
Mm.
the mind is certain, when you have a plan, you can have diamond hands because your mind is sure, your mind is certain.
Mhm.
So just understand that all of this is a psychological warfare against the people. Um, they fitting to squeeze us all into P2P using the heck out of VPN technology to go around their governmental nonsense. Welcome to the new Nigeria. That was Cousin Shango.
Oh, not the new Nigeria.
Cousin H, last time around travel ban, this time around crypto ban. Again, psychological assault on your mind, right? When they people who don't travel have a very, very myopic view of life. They think and a lot of times they think they know more than they do.
Okay.
Whereas people who are more well traveled, well seasoned in the world, seen things, experienced things, kind of have a more panoptic view of life, understand that there's room to learn, there's room to grow. And
Mm-hmm.
that's very important. Think about how many people you know who think they know every effing thing, ain't been nowhere, ain't done nothing. And they think they know everything. They have an opinion about everything. Haven't done one shred of research.
This is true.
Mm, the politicians are always looking to control the masses, but they look to control the masses because you have to remember we want to get you guys away from the whole money thing, right? When I say money, we're talking about whether it's fiat currency or Bitcoin and da 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 da. To the 1%, the elite,
Mm-hmm.
we are economic energy. And that's how you have to see it because those are the terms in which they work, right? Because your labor is more than capital to them, right? It is an energy that's, remember when Panic talked about the archons,
Yes, definitely.
right? They thrive off of the energy that you put out, right? All of the conveniences they have at their fingertips because of our collective economic energy. They have luxury in life, not just because of the capital, because of our economic energy. They can have whatever they want that they can imagine in their mind because someone's economic energy and labor provides it for them. So you do have to look at this earth that we're on, this dimension that we're in. Remember, it is a spiritual war too, right? And it's a spiritual war far before it ever transforms into a physical war.
So let's look at this. So now what we got a spiritual war.
You got an economic war,
We got
a
an economic.
psychological
We
war.
got an economic war because they are. If you live in the United States, they are doing everything they can to beat the dollar down. So you got an
Hmm.
economic war. What other
Hmm.
type of war we have?
We got psychological war,
Psychological
right,
war.
with the propaganda. I don't know. I would call it. It's still psychological, but the war that they're assaulting you with the food, that's very serious, right? There's no reason why the United States is one of the most obese countries
Yeah.
in the world. When you leave the United States, people don't look like average citizens in the US.
No, no, these guys.
And a lot of people who leave the United States, like us, will always tell you, yeah, I lost 50 pounds. I lost, how many did you lose, babe?
About 60,
You
60
lost 60.
pounds.
I lost about 47, 48, almost 50 pounds. Not by working out, not just by walking, right? Because this is before I even start, just by eating regular food,
Yeah.
right? These countries don't allow GMO. These countries are not trying to kill their citizens, right? Our fruits have seeds in it. Our vegetables have seeds in it. Our vegetables come from the ground. There's still minerals and stuff in them.
Hmm.
Um, the rice isn't coming from China where it's really plastic, and the lettuce is this plastic compound that, like, right? This is onslaught war. Now, I want to share something with you. Early this morning, Hubby was listening to an interview with President Bukele and who? Sean Hannity
No, no, no. Now you made me forget. Tucker
and
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. I'm sorry,
He
I knew it
said
was one of
Sean.
the Fox
He said
guys.
Sean Hannity.
I knew it was one of the Fox guys. And they were talking about Bukele's accomplishment in making El Salvador one of not one of the most safe country in the Western Hemisphere.
Hmm.
And Tucker Carlson had a very interesting question. He said, if El Salvador can accomplish this massive feat of eliminating homicides and crime in a small country with very limited resources, why can't countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, and he named some other pretty um, rich countries, rich
Yeah,
in resources, so on
yeah.
and so forth.
Western world
Why
countries.
can't why can't they accomplish that? Like, they keep using the war on drugs and the war on this and the war on that. And he said, you don't see anything happening. And President Bukele, in a very graceful way, basically said, because he actually cares about his citizens. Like, let that sink in. He says, I genuinely, passionately care about my citizens. I want my citizens to be safe. And he started talking about some of the gruesome crimes that the MS-13 were committing. A lot of them are satanically driven, right? This is a reality, y'all, right? We are in a spiritual warfare. But I'm going through all of that to say that the president was willing to do everything necessary, not anything, everything necessary in order to protect the citizens. We're about to have an election. Which one of your candidates are willing to do everything necessary to protect their citizens? Keep in mind, if you guys have been on top of the media theme, because the media always has a theme every year,
Oh,
the
sure.
theme is, if such and such is not safe, then no one's safe. Right? And you have to understand that if then logic on a psychological level. It
Hmm.
is not statistically possible for one person, right? They say if this one person is not safe, then no one's safe. That's not possible.
Right.
You're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 million people who are not safe at any given time. So the idea is for your subconscious to absorb this as, you're not safe. You're never safe. You're never going to be safe, because your subconscious doesn't understand logic.
Hmm.
Is it logical? No. but it understands logic, right? And it wants you to be in this fearful mind state into perpetuity.
Yes.
And you have a president of a small country like El Salvador, no resources. El Salvador, the country, isn't resource rich like a Guyana, or who else got Mexico or
Oh yeah, Mexico.
Africa, right? With a whole bunch of resources and stuff like that. They don't have a lot of money. The country has been poor since its inception.
Yes.
Yet, he was able to accomplish a feat of eradicating, eliminating, look at the words we're talking about, crime. It is the safest country in the Western Hemisphere, only to maybe be outdone by one of those Danish countries, like the Danish, the Swedens, some kind of areas,
Yeah. UAE maybe.
right?
Yeah.
And Tucker Carlson is flabbergasted, and so are we. But when he gave the answer that I care about my citizens, I made it a top priority to protect my citizens, to take care of them. It's what I promised them in my election speeches. It's what I promised them in my campaign, and I did that. These are some of the, what do you call them, babe?
Mm.
When we say we got to get something, we
Okay.
have a name for it. Tangibles,
Tangibles. Okay.
right?
Tangible.
That's a massive tangible that I'm going to promise you safety in your country. You can go out 2 o'clock in the morning to the ATM and be safe. You can come home from a party at 7 a.m. or come home from work at 7 a.m. and be safe. You can go to the supermarket at 9:30 p.m. and be
And
safe.
remember, we went to El Salvador before these sweeping safety changes, if you will. And for example, Aaron had to go to the ATM a couple times, and it was like a Brinks transaction. The Brinks truck, like you can't come in one person at a time,
Yeah, and
armed
the
guard.
driver was overly concerned that I had to get cash from the ATM. Now Simon's in the car, right? And he's looking at Simon. He's like, "All right, should be all right because he's a big guy." But that now has Simon on heightened alert. Like, all right, you go get the money and I'm going to watch you. And then, so I have the driver watching, I have Simon, like my personal bodyguard, right? I felt like Whitney Houston. And
Yeah,
then you have the guard at the door, like, Linda.
yeah, with the shotgun.
Right? Cuidado, cuidado. And he's telling
Yeah.
me, like, me visto, like, I'm going to watch for you. So I have all of these men just kind of like crowded around to watch me take out $60 damn dollars from the ATM, right?
And
Like,
that's before they swept it.
the
So
hell is going on in this country?
So now they got it to the point where it's safe, where everybody come. That's what he wants. He wants people, from other nations, I should say.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wants
He
he
wants
wants
them
it.
to feel confident and
Yeah,
comfortable to bring their capital.
he wants it to be a Singapore of the West.
Yeah.
A Dubai of the Western Hemisphere. And he's just getting started. And it could happen. It could definitely happen. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
All right, cousin Shango was talking to you, babe.
Okay, what's up?
Cousin Shango said, "Yeah, Simon. In Nigeria, the government is outlawing and banning the ever-loving crap spackle out of crypto, especially Bitcoin. But the kids out there keep using it, and I see our politicians doing something similar. You
Hmm.
have to remember other cousins, so I'm sure Shango's on top of this. Simon had reported the other day that the Naira, which is the national currency of Nigeria,
Yes.
is worth less than one Satoshi. It is the worst performing currency in the basket of currencies at this time.
Yeah, for the month of May,
So
as
when
they
we
say.
talk about not caring about your citizens, when we talk about the sabotage of your citizens, what Bitcoin Shango is exemplifying to you is case in point. Why would you want to outlaw Bitcoin when your currency is the worst performing currency?
Mm-hmm.
It is the most worthless currency in a basket of currencies.
It is.
And it doesn't sound like there's any forecast or any plans in place in order to help strengthen that currency or to help it perform better. What are you doing as a government if you're going to ban Bitcoin? And it sounds like you got a plan to prop this Naira up when in fact you don't.
Mm.
Okay, moving along. Cousin H said, Simon, if
Mhm.
people don't have financial freedom, they don't really have any freedom. And this is a quote by Lynn Alden. That is correct.
That's correct. And financial freedom, from our studies, the eight to 10 areas of activity appear to be the hardest one to gain freedom from.
I think it's the
And
only one you cannot.
you can't gain 100% freedom just yet. Not just yet. Not the average Joe. Not just yet, but you can gain levels of freedom that the other people don't have, right?
Hmm.
And so there, there's that. But yes, Lynn Alden is correct.
But let's talk about that, right? Let's go into detail
Uh-huh.
because we don't romanticize stuff. People hear the word freedom, they hear the word liberty, they hear the word free range, and it's heavily romanticized when there is no level of freedom or liberty or independence or whatever you want to call it that doesn't come with a significant trade off, period.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you want to be free from the tyranny of the United States, what comes with that, your automatic trade off is convenience. You lose that.
Yeah.
And you would be shocked as to how maladjusted a person can be when they lose conveniences that make them comfortable. People don't like to be uncomfortable. And this is why when we do the show, we do the productivity segments to get you guys used to
Being uncomfortable.
comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Simon's coach, shout out to, was it Coach Lee?
Coach Hunter. Shout out
Coach
to
Hunter,
Victor Hunter. If you're out there.
who taught him at a very young age that you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We talk to you guys about our journey here in Mexico all the time. Could we be in Florida? Yeah. Right? Get shit
Yeah.
DoorDash. I can jump into my Uber if I don't feel like driving and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Here, there's no Uber, there's no Lyft, there's no DoorDash. Right? You're either going to cook or you're going to jump in your car. You're going to drive all the way to the restaurant. You're going to sit, you're going to wait because it's not like restaurants in the United States where there's a whole bunch of cook staff in the back, as well as making you the meal in this makeshift kitchen in this restaurant.
True. True
Right? So
indeed.
if there's 16 people in the restaurant, it's a wait for Abuela to bring you your plate. Stuff don't come at the same time like used to.
Mm-mm.
My husband will not take a bite of food until Erin get
Yeah.
hers.
But I can bring in my SFIV tequila.
Yeah, they'll let him bring in
And
his
I sit at the
alcohol.
bar with
They
my
don't let
tequila.
everybody do that, but they do let Simon do that because
Yeah.
they know he's not going to be drunk and disorderly.
It's my tequila. You should be
But
selling it.
understand that when we talk about that, when you have free range children like we do, that means you are responsible to create the curriculum. You are responsible to teach it. In order to teach curriculum, you have to know it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you're responsible for your own self education so that you can give your children the highest education possible. Now, granted, that is Simon and our personality anyway. We're just a bunch of nerds
Yeah, a bunch of nerds, and
wrapped up in cool
so in, in
clothes.
in that in that regard, I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back here a little bit, if you don't mind.
Because he did
If you,
educate those
if you
children to
don't
a collegiate level.
if you don't mind, I am certified.
Oh boy.
I am certified in particle physics. So
Oh
that
yeah,
is a
that definitely
certification I
is.
did have from MEFI, Moscow Engineering and Physics Institute. So yeah, she laughs, but yes, I went through certification course through Moscow, and it was great. It was great, and I am certified teacher about particle physics. And there's a video up on our YouTube page of particle physics. I am also certified in general relativity
Mm-hmm.
through Harvard University.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also certified in biochemistry through Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Just free courses online.
But
So
self-education,
self-educated. So I am certified in biochemistry.
right? For those who want to live off the grid, do you know how to
Mhm,
butcher a cow? Do you
exactly.
know how to butcher a pig? Can you butcher a chicken? Right? And you have to consider some of the things that you're willing to give up. Now, I don't do that, right? Do I have access to? Yes.
Mhm.
I don't do that. So some of the convenience we do maintain utilizing our capital, but you just have to understand when you say, I want this level of freedom, there is a trade off, right? There is something that you are giving up in in exchange for that freedom, for that
Yeah.
independence, for that
So you
liberty.
got to know
Now, is it
stuff.
bad? No, it's not bad.
And I'm also, she cut me off because she didn't want to let me get my full shine. I am also certified in astrophysics through Australian Natural University. So astrophysics. So ask me your questions. I got answers for a lot of different things, but don't ask me about like, you know, literature or something like that. I leave that to her.
I
Stuff
am
like that.
certified in 16 trillion hours of being his personal assistant, his glasses, his hands, his feet.
No, not my feet. Not my feet.
I gotta be running up and down this big old house
Man.
for you. I'm also the technical assistant, right? So I have 16 trillion hours, y'all, in just being his assistant. So I'm patting myself on the back with my certification and hours of
Yeah.
continued certitude
Certitude.
to heavy cakes. Cousin Shango said, don't forget digital cybersecurity aspect of the global war. We are constantly going back and forth with China and Russia. But, right, we say that, but Cousin Shango, when it's time to meet for the World Economic Forum, China, Russia, Biden, Trump, all of them, like I said, they greet each other with a kiss. So all of that is just the pawns on the board, right? The actual players are not involved in any of this war. Depends on your definition of citizens. When I say citizens, it's just a catch all for the people of that country. He said, I believe 10,000% that either presidential candidate will do everything necessary to protect citizens that are like them. And maybe that's how it's always been. This is a melting pot, and we will protect the citizens that we deem are citizens based on our perspective and who they are. And anybody who wants to have access to this office will do the same. So
Mm-hmm.
you might actually have a point there.
Sure,
Um,
I can see that.
and it's the melting pot aspect, right? Because again, when we talk about a country like El Salvador, they are purely homogenous. Mexicans, they're homogenous, right?
But there's a problem with
Asians, they're homogenous. They have color issues, but they're still homogenous,
big
right?
color issues.
They're still homogenous. So, this is the rest of us. Good luck with that. Buena suerte, amigo. Cousin H, panoptic view. I love the vocabulary. I told you we a bunch of nerds. BK Crypto, boom. Guess who stepped in the room to Cal? Coming from the shower now. Yes, the Naira is worth less than a Satoshi. Cousin Shango. Cousin Shango's in love with Lynn Alden. For the cousins who don't understand this comment with the emoji eyes, and he's in love with her.
Mm.
Um, she would love that though. I think that would actually be the highlight of her day. Oh yeah, my husband done tipped his hat to the side. I'm gonna be closing this up in a second. Cousin Shango, seriously, I have no illusions that my so-called handful of Satoshis will make my family the best of the best of the best with honors. I don't know what that means. Do you mean education wise? What do you mean, Cousin Shango? He just want to fly his family under the radar and just be comfortable, be able to do what they want for work versus do what they have to. I like that too.
Okay.
I don't want them working 3 jobs just to have pizza on Saturday. Agreed, agreed, agreed. My aim is to give my kids, my grandchildren, freedom enough to be comfortable from the Satoshis I'm sweating to gift them now. Same,
Yeah.
ditto. Many don't own land to be totally free and let freedom ring the way they parcel the land out. Sometimes it's hard to get services there, right? So, like, yeah, you own this land, but there's no water running through it. You don't have access to electricity. You don't have the permits to build on it, and yada, 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 and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
because I was gonna go into land a good bit ago, and like she said, when you parcel stuff off, you have to have these easements so you can go through other people's land and little things like that, and then you can't even go on your land and pitch a tent, with your trailer and all that, and what they call
What, baby?
the police out there for the
The park police, the
the
park
park,
ranger
yeah,
police
park ranger,
people.
they'll come shut you down. So, and this is landed because what they say is, and you guys fact check me on this, in the United States, 3% of the people just live on, around the coast and down the south.
And the rest of the land is wildly
Yeah, the
uninhibited.
middle America. If you've ever taken a road trip through middle America, you see a whole bunch of cornfields, right?
Hmm.
Whole bunch of fields. Once you start driving, I mean, we were
It's
driving from.
like that in Mexico.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We were driving from I don't know, from Ohio. We started driving through Indiana, Illinois.
Hmm.
If you start getting out far enough, Idaho, Iowa, and all
The
that
square
stuff,
states is what we call them.
you won't see anything. And then you'll
Hmm.
come through a town. There was a town right here. It was condensed, and then boom, you keep going. Nothing but land, land,
Like when
land,
they talk
land,
about
land.
Route 66, for the parents who watch Cars, like how they kind of just lived in that little desert. And they had the little Route 66 right there. It's like that.
Yeah. So you could drive around, go to Nevada because they was almost giving out land in Nevada.
Hmm.
Once you get outside of Las Vegas
Hmm.
and down there, what's it, Reno, Carson City? It's just desert,
It's desert.
desert.
Didn't they say something about Las Vegas having to keep back like the sand or something every
Yeah.
2 years or something?
Hmm.
There's an amount of sand that tries to overtake the city.
It's so like when you go around the United States, nobody is really occupying the middle of America. And I mean, people don't, black people especially don't want to really live in middle America. I'm talking about middle America for real. Where you go in Idaho, like you said, square
Utah.
states, yeah, yeah, Utah, Oregon, out there deep in them square states.
We
But
live in the middle of Mexico, y'all. Like literally the middle of Mexico,
yeah,
right under Texas, and it's just all crop land, corn as far as the eye can see. Beautiful
hmm,
mountains, though. I love it. Um, Lots of blight because in
yeah,
Mexico, you don't need a permit to build. People build, they run out of money, they just abandon it. It gets
hmm,
overgrown. It's crazy. People's houses, they just don't have the money to upkeep it. They still live in it, house leaning, about to just kind of collapsing on itself. They still live in it. Do you remember when we used to go on dates to Hot Pits? There was that house we used to sit in our
oh
booth,
man, that
and it was
house was
right
a
across the
mess.
street. And they got paid out by that company
Oh,
who
okay.
wanted to build over there, but the roof was falling in. The house literally like leaned like this, and it used to have a whole bunch of children playing outside. We used to be so like, what can we do? Right,
Right.
that house is gonna fall in on them. But then this company had like some buildings around it, and they ended up buying. They probably have hopefully been out like fat cats, but they're Mexican, so I doubt it. Right, they probably stole the land out from under the people,
Hmm.
and they have construction there now or whatever.
Yeah, they
But
fixed it up.
again, choice and trade off, right? So even though we live in this beautiful development, as soon as we come out the development, it's like
It's
all
crazy,
these weird little
man.
houses,
It's
clothes
crazy,
everywhere.
man.
People
Yeah.
put their laundry on the front of the house and stuff, panties hanging. So
Wow.
little stuff like that. Dogs, feral dogs
Wow.
everywhere. So ain't no Chinese food restaurants around these parts. There's dogs everywhere.
Panties hanging are wild.
Panties, big bloomers, y'all, like just big drawers, just hanging right in front of the house. Yellow, pink, blue. Lefred and Rin said that's the best place to be. All I need is the money to hold this value. All is needed is the money that holds value.
Yeah.
And yes, yes. And the Lord in the Bible in Revelations talks about in the end, you'll have to flee to the mountains for safety. So I always look at it like the Holy One landed us here. Right? Steps of the righteous are ordered before the Lord, but you cannot be scared to take the steps that He ordered for you.
Yes, and then in that the very word flee, you don't want to get to that
That
point where
level.
it's just you must flee to get somewhere.
Hmm.
You want to strategically get somewhere if need be, or have something ready.
but he
if
talks
need
about it.
be.
And he
Yeah, but
talks about fleeing to the mountains because in the Bible, he talks about how the elite are going to go underground, right? So he called those bunkers, I don't know how many thousands of years ago. He had already prophetically mentioned it, right? So if they go low, you got to go high. And he talks about the average person fleeing. Now, granted, in the Bible, is fleeing to the mountains of Judah, but the steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. And I feel like God had inspired you, right? Because inspired comes from the term in spirit, the spirit inside of you. He inspired you to get us because we were in Guadalajara, that was the mountains, but it wasn't safe mountains.
no,
And
not
he brought
quite.
us to, they haven't had a homicide here in I think 73 years or something. Homicide, right? So no one's killed another person. They had petty theft and stuff like that, yeah, domestic abuse, yeah, but no one has physically killed somebody in I
Oh,
think three
wow.
quarters of a century,
Yeah,
almost
and
100 years.
there's a lot of history, and we learned the history of this community as we came here, and we're not citizens of the community in that regard, but we wanted to learn the history of it, understand how it was built, how it came about, and we've learned a lot. We asked a lot of questions,
Mm-hmm.
and make ourselves as much as to the community as we possibly can.
Cousin T said, y'all
Uh-oh.
should do a video of driving out of the compound into town and vlog it. I'm sure it'll get views. No, it won't. Go on our Simon Family Investment Ventures website. I'm sorry, Simon Family Investment Venture YouTube channel. I take y'all to restaurants. I walk y'all around Airbnbs that we rent. I take y'all out on the town. I take y'all on tour bus rides. 30, 40 views. It don't get views. Right? Everybody talk about they want to move out and they want to move to. No, they don't. Right? No, they don't. So, but cousins, if you didn't know that, yes, if you go to the Simon Family Investment Venture
Oh yeah,
YouTube
okay.
channel, I take you on lots of adventures. We take you to the market,
To the park,
to the
right?
park. We buy, I think we buy Jordans, what we hope
Well, yeah, we went.
come from some sort of Jordan
Yeah, yeah,
factory.
we went to this place called Tepito, which is the most dangerous neighborhoods in Mexico City,
Yeah.
to buy some shoes and stuff for our kids.
Cousin Shango, I know you consume our content. We appreciate you. I was just telling Cousin
Yeah,
T, like, out of the 30, 40, 50 views we usually
yeah,
get,
people don't really check for
they don't
those.
seem to be interested.
You went and got a michelada, which is crazy. That's a staple here in
But
Mexico.
while the cousins are on here, we can show them some pictures of
Yeah, sure,
like
pictures.
I'm a yes I can. I am a I went from city girl to country girl. So I was gonna show you the animals and stuff.
Yeah, we got videos with the animals making noise.
Not recent. Desktop.
But yeah, we can do a vlog again. I like doing vlogs.
I He loved it, and y'all know that Aaron get to be the face of the vlog. So I just got like, if nobody's gonna watch it, I could just enjoy myself when we go out without having to.
This is true. Oh,
Um,
that picture.
yeah, I don't have
There
recent
you go. That's a
pictures,
good one.
but
That's a good one with the kids. You sharing it.
I'm gonna see if it allows me to share it, which it doesn't look like it does. I guess I can trick it though. Hold on, y'all, because I'll show y'all some pictures while we on here. Just hold
You can
on.
show them some of the videos. You just pull up the YouTube video and then just play it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Y'all give me 2 seconds.
Hit right here.
Baby, not this one. No, 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 no. I'm in the wrong account. Baby, I'm the techie here. Oh, I don't even. You're right. I'm gonna have to do it that way because
Yeah, I don't use this one.
no.
Hit it right here, right here. There you go. Then hit videos. There we go. If you want to get old ones, we're vlogging.
Well, maybe I'll take them here first.
Yeah.
Real real quick, cause let me see if it lets me. It's quick. Let me know if y'all have audio.
So we're here in Tepoztlan, the magical city. We stopped into a joint that I affectionately call Abuela's, and I ended up getting the chuleta, which is basically pork chop. It's got onions, peppers. This is brown beans, or black beans, I should say, and it's kind of pureed with a soft cheese on top. This is rice. This is a very hot salsa, but everything is natural. It's the chilies, it's the peppers, it's the onions, it's garlic, all blended up into a nice thick consistency. And it tastes really good over the rice and the salad. This is a limonada. It's just water, lemon, a little bit of sugar, and ice. It's really delicious. The kids all got sunglasses. As you can see, everybody's wearing sunglasses. And we hope to show you more in a little bit.
But like we do stuff like that. I have some houses and stuff that we Airbnbs, lots of Airbnbs. Um, Real quick, just so y'all can see how nice the Airbnbs are here. You can really like a king or a queen here for a fraction of the price. Hmm?
Can't tell you that screen.
You can't tell what.
Can't see anything.
Bubba, it was there to see. We went there.
Well, I know, just better looking at it on this phone.
I just wanted to see what they can see.
Oh,
Because that's them seeing it. You've seen this already. All right, I don't know. Mexican internet acting up. But we have, lots of stuff on there for you guys to just kind of go on the journey with Mexico with us. The audio is good. That's great. Foods that we eat, Airbnbs that we stay in, markets that we go to. I kind of did some of the pricing with you. So you can see, you can literally fill up a grocery bag full of fruits and vegetables, fill it to the brim, and get out of there for like less than 10 US dollars. It's amazing. I'll find out about Mexican internet soon enough. Yes, cousin Shango, there's the trade off.
I see that.
Don't matter where you are, you could be in Polanco, Mexico City. The electricity is either going to fail or the internet is going to fail. So, trace and trade off, right? Um, but you know, the trade offs are typically worth it because you've already set your mind for them to be. And it's just important because people want everything for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize that absolutely everything in life comes at a cost, right? It's either going to come out of credit or it's going to come out of loss. You choose. And so a lot of times comfort comes at a loss, a huge loss.
Yeah.
And so many people are resigned to that's fine with me as long as I'm comfortable. Typically growth is what comes out of credit, but growth is uncomfortable. So
Yeah, comfort is it's a big thing, man. It's a big thing holding people back. People like to be comfortable. They like the creature comforts, as we say, when dealing with situations like this, moving to different countries, trying different cultures. People just get.
even the
I
language,
mean, grown adults get straight up homesick.
yeah, homesick like children.
Like somebody who's went away to college or something. You get
Hmm.
homesick. You went to camp for the summer and you get homesick. We gotta go pick you up because you can't sleep in bed with your Buzz Lightyear or something.
Yeah.
And so yeah, grown ups get straight up homesick. You see it. And it's, to me, it's kind of pathetic, but not to be judging, but just come on, man, you grown, man. Let's do
You
this.
got to
Let's do
tough it
this.
out a little bit so that you can have
Oh,
those new experiences. And
honestly,
it's very, very important that when we talk to you guys about the greatness, the fantasticness, right? All of the wonderful things that come with liberty and independence,
yeah.
and free range children. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing your children be free range children.
And let me tell you something else about this, being uncomfortable and, you know, homesick and all this stuff. You would be surprised at how you could adapt to the situations and really make it
Optimal.
work, make it optimal. Just like, for example, my children, they want to watch the NBA finals. It's not just on ABC or ESPN like the normal person, but they put in work and figure out, like, well, how can we watch the finals? We
How
gotta,
can we do it? And that's the
yeah, they come
mindset
with
that we've
that. They
instilled
come
in
with
them.
that
Not that I can't do
yeah,
it.
like how can
How
we?
can we
And they go
accomplish
figure it
this?
out, and they come back to us like, so if we get this NBA pass, and we'll just do it right here when the playoffs start, it only costs $15 a month. And that in third, so they went and did their homework. They went and did their due diligence, so they could figure out how they could watch the NBA playoffs and the NBA finals.
How can we be more social in town? They went and found the basketball.
Yeah,
They did find a great flag football, but it is quite far.
yeah, it's a little bit.
Um, it's too far for the amount of activity that's going to be involved in it. But they got the
Yeah, they
basketball.
got the basketball jumped off, and then with the basketball came the girls, right? So that's another thing you got to learn how
Reggie
to.
be walking around practice with his shirt off.
Yeah,
Sean
yeah,
be
yeah.
walking around practice with his shirt
Yeah,
off.
Cassie though, and I joke with him, and
I
I
ain't
make
never seen no chocolate covered six pack.
I joke with him, and and I be laughing at him like, man, put your shirt back on. I got all kind
Mhm.
of jokes, but in all honesty, man, take your shirt off while you can in life, man. Take your shirt
Mhm.
off, show your 8-pack, do it like this.
No.
Yeah, yeah, that's what Resident be doing. He be trying to show his little 8-pack and stuff,
Mhm.
man.
Sean got a six pack,
He
and
be
the girls be like, "Oh my
he
gosh!"
weigh like a buck 40,
I went to go
but
get my nails done, and I had to pick Sean up. So, because sometimes we let Sean take the truck, but when Sean works all day, he can't have the truck. Right? There's just too many people here who need it. So I went and picked Sean up from work. He's like, "Yeah, Mom, I'll sit with you while you get your nails done or whatever." My nail technician couldn't even concentrate on my nails because she kept trying to like look over at Sean and look down and look over at Sean, look down.
goofy.
So they are quite the distraction here in town.
Yeah.
And it makes them feel like celebrities. They think they freaking rapper, rock stars or something. So that comes with its benefit to be exotic and attractive and stuff like that. I don't necessarily like the attention like that, but it is what it is, and you gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah, so
He gets mad. I don't like all that attention. He be getting mad.
mad about what?
Like when I walk past the taxi drivers and stuff,
Oh,
everybody be coming to come talk to me, and you gotta be hustling up the rear. Like, who the hell you talking to?
yeah.
There's
So,
just too much conflict all the time. So
but for the kids, they figure out, they don't let the something different
scare them or
scare
deter
them.
them. And again, their mindset is, how
Yeah,
can we accomplish this? Right? What do we need? What do we need to do? Where do we need to go? And these are the things that you learn when you, I'm going to say, widen your panoptic lens. It's very important that the cousins, practice doing that. Find ways to do it. Not asking you to even travel out the country. You're traveling around the country you live in, right? Take those road trips. The
take those road trips,
experiences
man.
are priceless. They're
Yeah,
invaluable, and you have to see them as an investment in yourself,
and
right?
yourself.
And again, I'm not talking about hedonism in Jamaica, right? That's
Nah,
not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about them parties in Atlanta, in them houses and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real travel, um, going to see U.S. What do they call them?
Landmarks.
Landmarks.
You can
Thank
go
you.
see landmarks. That's always cool travel. Another thing, slept on travel, state parks. So
They're so
wherever,
beautiful.
yeah, it's nice, tranquil
You
experience.
barbecue there
Yeah, you
and
might get a log cabin
take a
and
journal with you.
yeah,
Take
stay.
something with you where you can just get focused because you will be wildly focused when you get there. The air is different.
Yeah, state parks, man.
It's
That's what's
nice. You
up.
can cook your food there. Now the flies and the mosquitoes, again, choices and trade-offs, right? That's the
Okay.
trade-off for some tranquility and some fresh air. But
Yeah.
definitely do state parks.
Yeah, for the homies out there, I know you guys got your portable
Traeger
Weber,
grills.
Traeger and Weber grills, so let's pack them up.
Pack them up.
Take going out to the cabin. You know, it's a nice cabin, and then you go out in the front, you start grilling. Man, these are some of the most great times we had. We used to go down
Beautiful.
to
Beautiful.
State Park in Gatlinburg.
And
It's
they're
called Gatlinburg in
really
Tennessee.
good for your relationship too,
Hmm.
right? So if some of you guys are working on relationships, cementing my, even though we've been married for 23 years,
Yeah,
we are always trying to find ways to cement that bond. I said, we Siamese twins. What are we scared of? Why do we keep trying to cement it? But it's like we can find a new way to cement it. We can establish a new bond. We can do this. We can do that. Even if it's like, just come sit in the recliner with me. So when you go to these, now the cabin in the woods be having mice, y'all. I'm gonna tell you that now. He tried to do something nice, and it was so many mice in the house at night. I was like, oh
but it had a
my god, I
big,
can hear them.
but it had a big jacuzzi in the first floor.
The jacuzzi didn't make up for the mice
That's
infestation.
sad.
And as soon as the sun went down, all you hear is all of this scurrying. I couldn't sleep all night.
Yeah, we was deep up. We was deep up in the woods in Tennessee, man. We was
I
out.
couldn't sleep
We was
all
out
night.
there, y'all. We was out there, but we was living that life right there.
I was telling them too. I was like, the kids didn't care. They were trying to catch a mouse or something. I said, no, mice have disease. Don't try to catch them. He said, there's so many. We can catch one. We can catch one. I was like, don't catch it. But I was asking someone, I said, you think they're going to get in the bed with us? He said, no, mice like to be low. They're not going to.
Yeah,
They're
that
not
was
going to
good.
scurry
The
in the
good
bed
old
with us.
times,
Not the
man.
good old time.
Cutting up wood.
We've never
making
had
sure.
that again, though. We've been to Gatlinburg 1,000 times.
Yeah,
That
in the
was the only
summertime.
time.
Yeah, the summertime. You
But
get
that was
bees and wasps.
that was in Gatlinburg. Most of the time we used to stay to what was
Pigeon
it?
Forge.
Pigeon Forge. And we didn't have that trouble in Pigeon Forge. We had nice cabins and stuff, log cabins. You can kind of see through the logs that built the house. You can see Dollywood everywhere.
Yeah. That's why I say state parks, man. They got nice low key spots that don't cost that much.
And the mountains in Tennessee, when you go up to Gatlinburg, water comes out of the rocks. It's very biblical. And just hearing the sound that it makes as it comes out the rock is so, I guess for people who like ASMR, it's quite the experience. It's just such a tranquil sound. I can't describe how comforting the sound is to hear the water coming out of the rock, the sound that it makes. And they have these little brooks where you can pull over on the side of the road as you're driving
Yeah.
to your destination. And kids get out, and they want to try to catch the frog in there, the salamander. They want to catch the fish. You can't take them babies nowhere, little boys. Stuff like that. So travel the country that you live in, right? If you can't, like I can't really do international travel. I don't like to fly. Whatever the issue is that you may have, jump in your car and actually go somewhere, and you would be shocked the amount of running around you do in town.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually sat down and benchmarked it, you would be like, I could take that road trip because this month alone and just going to the grocery store, going to work, coming home, taking the kids to school or whatever your errands are every single day, how much that mileage begins to add up to a cross-country trip.
Mm-hmm. It don't have to be far. Usually, I mean, it depends on where you live, but usually 4 hours you can hit something.
Hit
You
something.
should be able to hit something 4 hours unless you're somewhere remote in the country. But otherwise, you should be able to hit something within 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just you go online, just look it up, and you'll find all kind of interesting places, interesting cities that you thought like, oh, I never thought that city would be interesting.
Right.
And you go and check it out. And it's good for you. It's good for the family. Good for your relationship. It's good for your other.
Yeah,
You know,
cementing those bonds, whether
yeah.
it's your spouse or your children, if y'all are brothers or sisters or cousins or however it is, extended families, is definitely it's definitely worth doing.
Mm.
But we are at the 1 hour 54 minute mark. I
Yeah.
think at the height of the show we had 42 people. We're down now to 29. I guess they could feel that we're wrapping it up. Cousin Shango's out. Thank you, Cousin Shango, for joining
Ladies.
us. Cousins in general, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to keep your ears to the street as far as developments, not only in Bitcoin and precious metals, but economically in general, also productively in general, because we are all working to get a significant beneficial outcome or some type of up leveling before the year is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's Friday, June 7th. You still have 3 weeks left of quarter two. Spend these 3 weeks planning quarter three. Quarter three starts on July 1st. Buy the notebook. If you're going to use your phone, use your iPad, whatever, whatever. But just understand, right, that your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, you want to transfer them from the ether into this dimension. And that's why writing your goals down is very different than utilizing a digital device to document your goals and your accomplishments and so on and so forth. Right? So keep that in mind. Go get you the nicest notebook, the notebook that resonates with you. Use the pen. I would use a purple pen because purple represents the cosmos, and that is where conception takes place, right? The entire universe have come from the cosmos, which is really a purplish color, absent of light. So I would use a purple pen and start jotting your goals down. And then once you jot your goals down for quarter three, what do you need to do in order to get to those goals? What do you need? Who do you need to talk to? How can you get there? Who, what, when, why do you want to accomplish this goal? So follow the who, what, when, where, how, and why, and start working on that for the next 3 weeks. That way, when quarter three starts, July 1st, out the gate, you can have some stuff accomplished or
Yeah.
begin to get some stuff done.
You're out and running. You're out and running. Shout out to Cousin H. We appreciate that.
Hmm. Thank
Um,
you. You're certified in celestial bodies.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're out of here. I don't got much else to do. We gotta go
I
eat
gotta go
dinner.
cook,
Yeah, eat dinner.
but I'm tired. But we love y'all so much. We will see you guys Monday, 7ish.
7ish.
We love y'all so much. Have a wonderful, restful weekend. If you guys are out for adventure, be safe.
Be safe.
And we'll check in with the cousins on Monday.
Be safe. Be
Mamba
safe.
out.